Hi guys, welcome to How to Real Estate. This is Jared, and today we're doing a little bit different format. But today I really want to share the secrets that I've developed, the system that I've developed on how to find multiple deals in one single month without having to do much, without having to put very many hours into each particular deal. So stay tuned, listen up. I'll tell you my secrets.
Welcome to How to Real Estate Podcast, a podcast to help you start, elevate, and catapult your real estate investing career. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new podcast that we post every single Monday. Jared tested.
Jana approved.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. The whole reason why I got into real estate was to spend more time with my family. I wanted to have a better life for them. I wanted to have a better lifestyle for my family. And what I found when I first started out, because I was working a 9-to-5 job, and then I was doing real estate on the side. So what I found was that there was less time for the family as I was starting out, and I knew going in that I would have to put time in to actually get a result, on what I wanted to accomplish. It was hard at first, and if anyone's actually taking action and starting to find deals and work for deals, it's a grind. When you're not relying on wholesalers or even realtors, because speaking from a realtor, most of them are useless as far as finding actual investment properties. Very challenging because there's a lot of phone calls. You're calling, 200 people a day if you have a dialer. You know what I mean? Or 600 people a day sometimes, and you're just grinding. You're knocking on doors, just sending letters, and it's very time consuming. So I got to the point where I got really good at finding deals, but it would take out massive amount of time to do it. So I did enjoy the grind. I enjoyed talking to people. I enjoyed helping them out. I asked myself, how can I find a way where I don't have to spend a lot of time or money on finding these deals? Because I've actually gotten a place where I was able to hire an assistant. She was doing, she was working pretty hard and helped out a lot, but I was still doing a lot of work follow up. I was doing a lot of stuff that needed to be done through the whole course. And I didn't have that, even after leaving my job, I didn't have the time I wanted for my family. So I created this system, the Unstoppable Sales Machine system, where I was able to free up my time and continually to get deals coming to me nonstop. And so I'm going to share all the secrets. I'm going to tell you guys everything that what that entails, how that even looks like. Value time more than money. Value relationships more than money, even more than time. So what I did when I was kind of thinking about it, I woke up and I had an epiphany, and this idea came to my mind on how to build an unstoppable sales machine. To find a deal, one must build multiple funnels is the best way to do it. And there's driving for dollars, mailers, knocking on doors, making phone calls. These are just to name a few. Looking online, KSL for sell by owners, things like that. Connecting with realtors, that some of them can bring you some good deals. So there's a lot of work involved. There's a lot of just grind that just has to happen. Then after you get some interest, you set an appointment. You go to the appointment, you drive, you get out there, you go to the appointment, probably only 25% of them, if you're lucky, if you actually get good at closing, 25% close rate is great. 25% close rate is fantastic. So you get that system built in place, and all of this takes a massive amount of time. Even after you set an appointment, you're not guaranteed to get that deal. And after you get the deal, there's going to be follow-up. Even after you set the appointment, and they tell there's still follow-up after that. Doing all that takes a ton amount of time. And so one option, what a lot of people like to do is as they start getting successful, they start getting money. What they do is actually they reinvest it back in their business. So they're getting a VA, or they're hiring someone to make those phone calls, or they're just sending mailers. They are hiring people even to go and negotiate the deal when they get big enough. Okay, here's you're an acquisition manager now. I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars per hour. Go close on this deal. Paying for the leads to come in. It's not a bad system to do that. And vast majority of people, that's what they do as they start to grow and get bigger. You can have someone make those phone calls for you. You can pay them to do something like that. You pay them to knock on the door. But if they don't have success, if they suck at it, you still have to pay them, and you haven't made any money. That was one of my challenges with my VA when I personally did. That's one of the things that, regardless of her success, I still had to pay her. which is fine. I mean, they did work, they deserve the money, right? But a lot of times, people they're in it just for a job, just for a paycheck, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not disparaging that whatsoever, but that's where a lot of people sit at. That's where a lot of people are at. They're not as enthused when they're making those phone calls. They're not in hopes of like, okay, great, and you can incentivize them. Like I've incentivized if they get a deal, I'll give them a bonus, something along those lines, which helps. It does help, but they're still not 100% in because they're still going to have their money, and rightfully so, they deserve it. When I was thinking about how can I do something like this without having to risk the upfront money cost, I maybe even put the money cost on the very back end, building this ultimate sales machine is to find someone else to do it for me without me having to spend any money. So that's kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, how can you find someone to make phone calls for you? How can you find someone to go knock on doors, to even go and negotiate your deals for you and get under contract? And then while I'm sitting back playing with the kids. So how can I do that without having to pay them up front? So this is how I do it. Finding the win-win and add massive amounts of value. Massive amounts of value. That is the key. You find people that have needs, and while them helping you is actually fulfilling their needs. The thing is, so here's where a lot of people run into troubles when they're looking into real estate. One is that all the information, there's plenty of real estate education companies out there. There's YouTube University, YouTube's for free. You can go to forums, Bigger Pockets. I personally joined Renatus, and definitely no regrets there. But you can spend a lot of money on getting the information you need to do a deal. However, there's not really one-on-one help as far as actually doing it. A lot of the programs will give you, oh yeah, I'll coach you, and half the time it's very from my personal experience. I mean, sure, there's some out there, but it's not very helpful, right? So there's a lot of people out there that are not having the success they want because they can get the information, but some people learn it differently. I mean, I can watch a video on something, I can read a book about something, but until I actually do it, it just doesn't quite sink in there. So a lot of people are in the analysis paralysis because they don't necessarily, one, they lack the gumption to take action, and or there's another portion of people where they just need someone to help. They need someone to help them walk through the process. They need someone to kind of almost take them by the hand. Hey, this is how we do our first deal. This is how you're gonna do it. This is gonna be your second deal. This is how you do your third deal. This is how you negotiate. This is how you talk to someone. This is how you convince someone. And this is how you wordsmith certain things certain ways so that you can get them to accept your offer. How you present something is very important, very crucial when you're dealing with this. And so you have people that are kind of in analysis paralysis. They're reading the books, they're watching the podcasts like this, right? But they're not taking action. So what I do, I find those type of people, right? And I'll go in a minute how you find those people, but you find people that are hungry and looking to learn more. I offer my services. I'm like, listen, I've done, plenty of deals, and I know exactly what I'm doing. I can get things under contract. I know what the processes are. I know how to keep us out of trouble. I know how to analyze a deal. Let's do a deal together. Like, okay, well, great. That's exactly what they want. They're looking for that mentor. They're looking for someone to show them how to do this. I'm willing to help you, but guess what? You are going to eat what you hunt. So I will help you with deals. I will do everything, but you have to bring something to the table first. So I will take my time into helping you, training you, giving you the information you need, but it's going to be learn as you go. You're going to earn as you learn. I give them, first of all, just tell them how to find some deals. I give some ideas. Driving for dollars is a great way. So driving for dollars, like, hey, you know what? Just go out, drive for dollars. When you find an address, send me the address. That's all you got to do. Just drive around looking for abandoned homes, looking for properties that look like they have long grass. Maybe there's a note in the city on the door, because it's condemned or meth or whatever. And there's more of these properties than you realize. If you haven't been driving for dollars, when you start doing it, you see them everywhere. So trust me, I give them tips. If you're not driving for dollars, if you don't feel like you're about to be robbed, you're doing it wrong. Because you want to go to the poorer parts of town. I say that jokingly. Obviously, you don't want to put yourself in danger, but you want to go to the poor parts of town. If you go to the mansions, you're not going to find abandoned homes and mansions very often. But if you go into the starter home areas where it's a little bit rougher around the edges, you're going to find a lot more opportunities, to say the least. So I give these people some ideas on how to find some deals. And driving for dollars is a great way, is because if even they don't have a lot of time on their hands, they can just, when they go to work, they can go to work a different route. They can leave 15 minutes earlier and they can drive a different route. So I tell them, like, hey, just do that. Just drive a different route. When you go pick up the kids, leave 10 minutes earlier, go pick them up a different way. When you come back, drive a different way. And as you're driving, you're rubbernecking. You know, you're checking out you're looking at those abandoned homes everywhere, you know? So it's a great way for someone else to try to find a property. What I tell them is, like, we're looking for wholesale deals, right? And finding the deals, even if someone wants to flip, finding the deal is typically the hardest part in the whole process. Once you actually find a deal, you get it at the right price. You know, you can find contractors. You can, you know, get if you find a deal, you can find people to help to land on the deal, right? So finding money isn't as hard as finding the deal. You find the deal, everything else comes with it. So even the people that don't necessarily want to wholesale, but they want to learn how to flip, if they can find the deal themselves, they're gonna be great. There's gonna be no problem for them, right? So they go out, they find an address. Now a lot of these times they don't know how to find find the owner. And I offer them, like, I actually created YouTube videos of how to do that. So, like, hey, you have a couple options here. So on average, my depending on the percent of the work you put into this deal, we're going to work on it together. The less work you do on it, the less money you're going to get of the deal. So we're going to do a partnership. So we're looking at partnerships, right? You know, I'm not your employee, I'm not your employer, I'm not your employee. We are a partnership. And so if you find a vacant home, you have an address. If that's all you have to do is just give me the address, I will look up the information. I will look at the information, who the owner is. I'll find the phone number, and I will call them, and I'll set an appointment. And then when I set the appointment, they can come with me to the appointment and actually watch me close the person. So now they're learning how to find a deal. They're learning actually how to close someone. If they're doing that, I'll give them 10%, whatever the wholesale fee is. Whatever I make, I'll give them 10% for that. Like, great, awesome. You just found me an address. I'm giving 10% if we close. Someone else's drive around, they're spending their hours, and all I'm doing is paying them 10% of the back end of the deal. Now, if they are doing more, so for example, because I made YouTube videos of how to find the owner of the address, I'll send them those videos. So, and even if you, and I'll put a link in the description of the video. So if you guys want to, take a look at it, and as you want to do this, the ultimate sales machine, he's like, hey, Jared, I actually made a video. I'm going to send it to you. So if they want more than just 10%, or they want to learn how to do it, I'll send them a video. Okay, you find the address, great. Now they go out and they actually make contact with the seller, because they can find out who the seller is, can find out what the phone numbers are. So they make contact, and then they set an appointment. And I have a link with my calendar. I'll send them a link actually with all this. So like if they actually get to that point where they actually want to contact the seller, I have scripts I can send them. I'm like, you know what? Here's some scripts. Here's some scripts for you. You can call them, ask them, this is how you want to set the appointment. This is how you want to phrase things. And so now finally they actually have a real guide of how to do it. They're like, okay, I didn't know how to do this before. Now I actually have a mentor which can help me along this process. And if they're setting an appointment, I'm going to give them up to 30% of the deal, right? Which is great. That's great for them, right? Great for them, great for me. And then all I do is step back, and I'm doing other things, right? Of course, but effectively for that deal, all I do is I get a notification on my calendar that I got a new appointment. Because I send them a link to Calendly so they can see my schedule, so it doesn't overlap with other things. And so they schedule the appointment with the seller, and then schedules it with me. And then wham, bam, we both go out there and make an appointment. And we go out there to the appointment, I should say. So now this person is found a deal. They talk to the person, they know what to do, and they are making money, and they have the ability to see me, a seasoned person, actually close on a deal. So for them, it's just like, oh, this is fantastic, right? It's exactly what I need. And if you're not as experienced as me, and a lot of you guys are as experienced as me, maybe a lot of you probably are even more experienced than me, but maybe a lot of you aren't. But we're going to go over some strategies and how to do it even if you're not as experienced as I am, okay? So you have to set your expectations. You have to set expectations, clear expectations. Like, my goal for this person that I'm helping out, that they are going to be better than me, or just as good as me, if not better, right? That's the goal. I want them to be better. I want them that they can find deals without having to rely on me anymore. right? I will give them the tools they need. I will teach them. I will show them, and we're going to make money along the way, which is great for me, right? And so they can find deals, set appointments. They're coming with me. They're watching me close, and they can come with me as much as they want. Eventually, after they see me do a couple, and they see how I'm closing, how I'm presenting things, how I'm talking, what we'll do is the next appointment when they're ready, they can take point. I'm telling them, you're going to take point. I'm going to be with you in case you stumble, right? When you stumble, I'm here for you. No worries, man. I got you. Because sometimes the seller comes up with a concern. They have no idea what to do. Like, I don't know, so like, okay, I got you. Till eventually they get so confident they don't need me anymore. They don't need me next to them. They don't need me to help them with closing at all. So now they know how to find a deal. They know how to look up the person's information, and they know how to actually close on a deal. They know what paperwork they're using because they're using that paperwork with me. They're doing all that stuff, right? So they can literally go off and then find their flip by themselves at that point. And that's honestly great. I mean, I want them to be better closers than me, so they can go off and do their own thing. And when I tell them, like, when they get to that point, all right, man, you are awesome. If you don't want to work with me anymore, like, no hard feelings. I feel like I became a good teacher and mentor to you. So fantastic. Like, that's my reward there. And I made lots of money along the way. We closed some deals together. You feel you're confident, you're ready to go, to find a deal. You're perfect. Beautiful. Let's do this. Good job for you. Or how would you stick with me? I tell them, like, you know what? I'm only one person, and sometimes I get busy. So I'm not going to be able to handle all the appointments that all these other people are giving me, because I'm a lot of people. At one point in time, I had 30 people that was driving for dollars, that was looking for deals, that was making phone calls for me. And so I'm overwhelmed. And so how about you stay on with me as an acquisition manager, as a partnership? And so how that works is that when I get an appointment with someone else, instead of me going, because I'm going to have other appointments going on as well, I'm going to send you to that appointment. So I'm going to set up an account for you as far as a calendarly link. So when my driving for dollar, my bird dog, my driving for dollar person finds a deal, sets an appointment, they're going to set the appointment with you. So all they have to do is basically go 2-3 appointments a week, and they just close the deal, right? So the hardest part is done, and then they are going to get 50% of what I would have got. So we're going to, obviously, the percentage, whatever the driving for dollar person would get, and then that person to actually learn how to close a deal, they don't have to go to work either, but they can stick around and actually just get the appointment set for them, and then they're going to get 50% of the wholesale deal of the portion I would have gotten. So for example, let's just say that we get $10,000 in a wholesale deal, right? That's my average. What I personally make on average wholesale deal is $10,000. So $2,000 goes for the driving for dollars guy. And that leaves $8,000 for us. So I take $4,000 home, and they take $4,000 home. So think about it on all three portions, all three sides. The driving for dollar person, they're learning how to do it. They're going to the appointment. They're learning how to close. And they got paid $2,000 for their trouble. I mean, that's pretty insane. And the person that actually closed the deal, they didn't have to go find the deal. They didn't have to do anything like that. They just got an appointment alert. They went and spent an hour or two with the seller and made $4,000. Me, after the contract, I sent the contract out to my buyer's list. I sent it out. I basically wrote up an email, verified the deal was a good deal, and then I made $4,000 for doing 15 minutes of work, and I didn't have to do anything else. This way, it's 100% scalable. And the people that are going with my acquisition managers, they're learning how to do it, and they can become acquisition managers too if they want. And there's no like obligations when people do this. It's just like, you know what? People that want to work with me, they can work with me. And the thing is, like, if the acquisition managers, because we're this partnership, there's no employees, they can drive for dollars for themselves and then close their own deals and they do that. But they just have an additional funnel from my ultimate sales machine, unstoppable sales machine, is still coming through. So they're getting extra leads, they're getting extra deals, and then suddenly, wham, bam, they can do their own stuff because they learned how to do that. They've gone through the whole process. So when you present, and when I talk to people about this, and every time I talk to them, they're like, oh, this is amazing. This is perfect. This is exactly what I want. This is how you build an unstoppable sales machine, is that you have people that are invested in themselves, And some of these guys, they'll learn and they'll do a deal with me, or maybe one or two. And then they're like, you know what, Jared, I'm good. I don't really just want to be an acquisition manager, but I want to do my own thing. And it's just like, you know what, more power to you. Love you. If you have any questions or something else you want to tackle together, let's do it. Feel free. You got me on speed dial. No worries. And it's pretty amazing in some of the stuff that you can do. Amazing on some of the benefits it is. You find the win-win-win-win, right? The seller's winning, I'm winning, the bird dog's winning, the acquisition manager winning, and I don't have to do a darn thing effectively. Once it starts to roll, once you build the momentum, at first to get the ultimate unstoppable sales machine, it takes with anything, it takes time for it to start. It takes time for it to build up steam. But once it gets going and you get a couple of acquisition managers behind you, you get 30 or so people that are driving for dollars for you, man, it gets pretty incredible. I tell you what. Now here's the thing. Everyone wants to be rich. Not everyone wants to do the work for it. When people start to look at get into real estate, because that's what they hear. They hear like, Grant Cardone, he's in real estate. That's how he made a lot of his money. And there's a lot of big guys that are doing stuff in real estate. And when 90% of the world's millionaires either made their millions in real estate or has real estate holdings, there has to be something to it. So a lot of people see that, they read books, they watch the podcasts like this. They see the vision. They see, okay, yeah, that's how I can make millions. That's how I can build wealth. That's how I can. So there are a lot of people that are just kind of spinning their wheels. What I find is that a lot of people, when I tell them the vision, like, hey, you can join this funnel with me. Like, you're going to start at the very bottom of the totem pole, then at the very end, you can be the acquisition manager. And as we partner with these deals, like, you can just go off of the races. And every single one that I've ever talked to that's interested in real estate, they are super ecstatic. And we're like, this is a great thing. This is exactly what I'm looking for. This is what I want. This is what I want. It's perfect. Thank you so much, Jared. This is great. Only about 10% will actually take action and do it. For me, how I sift through all the chaff, because there is a mass amount of people that are looking to do something, but they're just too afraid to take action. Too afraid to take action, too lazy. There's multiple reasons. They say they're too busy, but you can always make time. If you can't spend an hour a day on your business, then you shouldn't be looking at other businesses, pure and simple, or even wasting your time listening to this podcast. If you can't spend an hour a day or even a couple hours a week, you're just wasting your time. Don't waste your time doing it. So with people that I find, like the 90% that talk to them, they get really excited, and some of them can be time and energy drainers. You all know this type of people that's in your life. Everyone has them. And so these people will they get excited. They want to be involved. And then they just don't do anything about it, but they'll call and ask questions. I don't know, I can't do this. And, so how I sift through all the chaff is that I'll spend half an hour talking to them, tell them this is what it is. I'll send them some YouTube videos. And stuff that I pre-created. So you can create your own videos of what you're looking for, what you want them to do, or you can actually use mine or whatever, it doesn't matter. So you make these videos, you send them to them so they know how to do it. So you can you don't have to waste your time, not waste your time, but put the time and effort into teaching them how to find a deal, how to find off market, or how to find the addresses and things like that. Like, okay, you have an address, how do you find the owner? You send the video to them. The vast majority of them won't do anything. So I send the information to them. I talk to them, spend a good half an hour talking to them, explaining everything to them. Then that's it. I don't follow up with them very rarely. Do I ever do that? Because the people that are actually really interested and that actually will do something, those are the ones that are going to take action. They're the ones that are going to be following up with you. They're going to be coming to me like, hey, Jared, awesome. I found this. I had this question about this property. What do you think about this? Okay, cool. Awesome. Great. I'm going to make this phone call. Great. Go make phone calls. Good. Go do that. And they're contacting me and asking questions. So I set expectations from the get-go. I tell them, I don't chase people. I'm a business. I'm at a point in my career where I don't need to chase people for them to work with me. I don't need to chase them. I don't need to beg them. Oh, please, come on. Have you made any phone calls today? Have you made it? I'm not going to chase them. We're partners. We're partners. You're not my employee. They're not my employees. I'm not their employer, and vice versa. That's not the scenario we're looking for. We are partnerships. When we do a deal, we actually do joint ventures. As we're building these partnerships and they're not willing to take action, I don't waste time on them. I will give them the initial opportunity to do it, and explain to the very beginning, like, I'm not gonna chase you. I'm not going to, you know, as far as like from this point on, if you want to take action, you take action. If you don't, then that's on you. Like, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to spend my valuable time. The whole point of this was to get more time back, not to waste more time. So if someone is willing to put in the time and effort, I'm willing to put the time and effort into them, to teaching and training, helping them to answer quick questions on text message or whatever. You got it. No problem. So that's how I sift through the chaff, that 90% that doesn't do anything, that are just those time wasters, time suckers. I will have the initial conversation with them. And then after that, they are on their own. They can either do this or not do this. It's up to them. But that 10% that actually will work, those are the ones I'll spend my time with. I will teach them other ways to find deals. If they're not willing to drive or even make phone calls. And a lot of times that I have people that are actually willing to make phone calls for me, I will give them a list. Like, here's a list of divorces. Here you go. And here's a script. Go. I don't make any follow-up conversations after that. If they want to make phone calls, they're make phone calls. Because vast majority of people like, oh yeah, I can make phone calls, sure. But they make 1 or 2 phone calls and they realize it sucks. Like, it really does suck. Some people like it, but I don't mind it. I can do it on hours on end, which I have and still do, but it's not for everyone. It's not very fun, but you do it. It's the grind. It's part of the grind. It's starting to do it. If you want to get into this business, the stuff you have to do. You're knocking on the door. It's the stuff you have to do, right? So I don't waste my time people that don't do anything. So those that 10% is great, awesome. I helped them out. How do you find people because if only 10% actually will do the work, and if I want to get 30 people to actually start driving for dollars for me, or start making phone calls, what do you do to find the 300 people? Because you have to find 300 people to get 30 to actually will start doing work for you. Does that make sense? How do you find people to work with you in your unstoppable sales machine? That's the biggest chokehold I first had, was how do I find people to help me help them go into business? One way is Facebook. I'll put posts like, hey, look, newbies, if you need help in real estate, I'm not looking to sell anything. I'm looking for partnerships. And I'll put posts something similar like that, or like I'll join any of the local real estate groups that are on Facebook as well that are helpful. They're like, hey, I'm looking to help people get into real estate. I'm looking at people to take, if anyone's looking for the next level. And even if someone has already done a couple of deals, but they're looking to take their game to the next level, they can just, instead of being in the very beginning, they can just kind of maybe, okay, let's do a couple of deals together. All right, awesome. Then they can just like jump right into the acquisition manager, and wham, bam. Okay, they don't have to go through the heartache of finding deals. They can just join into your funnel, at the appropriate skill level, and wham, bam, they're good. I do a lot of Facebook posts to find people that, whether it's make phone calls, whether it's drive for dollars. And then that's how I kind of get things start to turn. Instagram, you can do things like that as well. Social media just in general, right? So reach out to social media and networking events. Understanding right now with the coronavirus, it is very hard to get to networking events. There are digital networking events going on right now. So you can just do some research and find some meetups. There's real estate meetups. You can just go to meetups.com and find a real estate meetup group, the Utah RIA, when people are interested in getting into real estate or doing real estate or learning, and start networking, talking to people. It's just like, hey, I'm actually looking for someone to work with me, to partner with me on some deals. Would you be interested? Oh, great. Awesome. Let's get the phone numbers and we'll communicate. We'll have a lunch together, whatever. And so that's a great way. Someone's willing to get off their butt and actually go to a meeting to learn about real estate. Those are the people who are more likely to take action and to start doing stuff about real estate, as opposed to someone who just saw a post on Facebook, like, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind getting into real estate. I was thinking about that, Those are the ones that are going to be the best resources for you, tell you right now. So join the Utah RIA, as many groups as you can, and actually communicate. Here's the thing. Some of you guys are like, this is a great idea, Jared. I like the idea. This is something good in the future. But what do I do now? Maybe you're just starting out. Maybe you've done 1 or 2 deals and you don't feel comfortable enough to actually show someone else like how to negotiate. Like, I barely know how to negotiate. I got lucky the person said yes the first time. everyone has different skill levels, right? Maybe you're just learning about real estate. Maybe you read a few books and you watched a bunch of YouTube videos. You're listening to this great how to real estate podcast, and you don't really necessarily have all the skills. You don't actually have firsthand experience, but there's always someone that knows less than you. Okay, and those are the people you can reach out to. Those are the ones like, you know what, like I've only done 2 deals, but I'm actually looking to partners. I'm looking for partnerships. And sometimes people, even knowing, like as long as you're upfront honest with it, people that are brand new and they're like, you know what, actually I've done 0, so I can obviously still do things together. People love to do things, especially when they're in partnerships for the most part. And so it'll give them the extra push and gusto to get going, right? Now let's just say you really don't know anything. You just don't know, you haven't done a deal, you've read a couple books, but you don't know nothing. And you don't feel comfortable even show anyone anything. That's fine, no worries there. If you're in that level, here's what you do. What you do is you find people that need some extra cash. So what you do is like, hey, and you find people the same methods that I'm saying right now. It's a Facebook post. You can just do looking for extra cash. I need help. So what you tell them is like, okay, listen, I'm getting to real estate. If you find me an address of a vacant home, so let's say you're driving around, you're actually driving for dollars for me, right? You find me an address, and if I actually close on that deal, I will pay you $1,000. Like, what? I give you an address, and all you got to do is, and you pay me $1,000? I'm not even in real estate. I'll do that. Heck yeah, $1,000 for an address. That's a lot of money. Here's the thing. Here's the beauty of this. This is no risk to us, no risk to you. Because if they don't find you a deal, if they don't find you an address, how much are you paying them? Goose egg. You're paying them 0 because they didn't find you, nothing closed, right? So you're only paying them if something closes. If you had to pay $1,000, but you get $10,000 in return, how many times would you do that? The answer is infinity, right? You would do that infinite number of times because it makes sense. And you're only paying the $1,000 if you're making the 10. If every time I tell you, if you spend $1,000, you're guaranteed to make 10, you would do it infinity times. That's what this system is. So even though you're paying out in this unstoppable sales machine $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, but you're making 10, you're making that $6,000, $8,000, $9,000. Sure, it's worth every penny to pay that out to someone. And you could even say $2,000, whatever is going to make them more incentive to do it. And tell you, once they actually find, one person actually like finds a property and you actually close on it and they get $1,000 in their hands, woo-wee, man, they're like, this is real. Jared is not just talking BS. He really means it. He really is paying me, And so they'll start really going. You can find people that have no intention of getting into real estate, like 0 intention, but they need some extra cash. Right now is the perfect time to do something like this. People are out of work everywhere and they have plenty of time in their hands, but they have no money coming in. So a simple post like, hey guys, I've done this before. Like let's if you're out of a job right now, you want some extra cash, make phone calls for me. I'm going to give you a list. I'm going to give you a script. You make the phone calls. If we close in a deal, I'm going to pay you $2,000. Pretty good deal. That is a pretty good deal right there, right? It's worth it for them. They're making phone calls. They're setting appointments. And they're raring to go. They're happy and ecstatic and excited to get a deal, or not even a deal, just set an appointment with you, set an appointment for you, and they're making money. Again, the key to the unstoppable sales machine is to find the win-win system and give massive value to the people that are working with you. If you're giving someone massive value, and you're giving them massive help, you're giving the support they need, man, I tell you what, there is no stopping you. Like this unstoppable sales machine is something I've been working on the past year, and it's been growing and growing and growing. I do have a couple of acquisition managers that when I get my plates full, I call them up and they're like, yeah, want to go to this appointment? Got it. I'm there. And it's worth it. It's worth to have someone that you can trust that can go and do the stuff. It really is. It's worth it. It's powerful to have someone to work this way. And so like this last month in April, I closed 2 deals, right? And those deals were where I did nothing to get these deals. Like me personally, I didn't do anything to do this. I sat back, I got a phone call, said, hey, Jared, I got someone that wants to talk to you about selling a house. Oh, cool. Awesome. I went, talked to the person, closed the deal. And last month, I made $14,000. So I made $14,000 in 1 month, right? I just built the ultimate sales machine. And this is the exact steps I'm telling you to do it, right? So build massive value, find the win-win, and make lots of money. And you're giving so much value to them. It's great. And as you grow, you can grow because even if you're just getting people that need extra money and you don't have the experience to actually show someone how to do it, and people are sending you leads, like you're learning as you go, right? Or work with me, like join my team. If anybody here wants to be part of the ultimate sales machine, let's say, for example, like you're learning and you want to join my funnel, right? And you want to okay, Jared, I'll drive for dollars. I'll make phone calls for you. Sweet. Let's do this. And then we can go together. So either do your own branch and do your own thing, like more power to you. That's why I'm sharing it, right? Because you can just do it yourself. Or if you're like, okay, Jared, I'm gonna do this thing with you, then I'm gonna go off and do my own ultimate sales machine. Beautiful. Good for you. Like, awesome. Let's beautiful. Let's make some money together first and go off to your own thing. No worries. There's no contract. There's no, let's just do, well, once we do a deal, there's going to be a joint venture for that deal. So there's no, make sure we're protecting both parties, right? If you're a realtor, as realtors, you can only have so much you can only pay someone so much for unsolicited leads, right? Otherwise, they have to be like an actual employee. So if someone's making phone calls for a realtor, they have to be an employee. Now, it doesn't say anything about partnerships. So if someone's making phone calls for me and I'm paying them once we close the deal, it's a joint venture, right? So we are actually, I'm not getting commission as a realtor. I'm actually doing it as an investment property. So yes, I'm a realtor, but I'm not using my license I'm not representing anybody other than myself, right? I'm not representing anybody. I'm just buying the property or getting under contract for myself. I'm going to wholesale it, or I'm going to flip it myself, or whatever it is, right? So you can joint venture and you're not paying them as commission. And so that's kind of a workaround, and it's honest. It's not like you're doing anything shady either. Like you're doing a joint venture because you are in the sales machine. You're building partnerships. You're not employees. You're not paying them for a lead, right? Even realtors can do this unstoppable sales machine. You can actually do the unstoppable sales machine. There's no problem. You just got to make sure you're structuring each deal correctly so you don't get yourself in trouble, right? We don't want anyone to get in trouble, but check with your local professionals before you do anything, of course. So guys, this is really amazing. I really hope you got some value from this. And the one thing I would have to say is, as you're going forward with this, you will find more disappointment than successes every single time. Repeat myself. You will find more disappointment than successes every single time, not just in real estate, just in life in general, and in business and trying to succeed in general. That's just how it is. So you have your choice. When someone tells you no, it's like, oh, it's not worth it. I'm not going to do it anymore. Or you can pick up the phone and call the next phone call, or you can drive and find the next property, or you can keep on going. I tell you what, guys, I've been doing this for quite a few years, and I have had so many no's. It's been insane. I can't even count. I can count the yeses. I can't count them on, I'd have to have, even if I took off my shoes, I can't count them on all my, it's more than 20, right? But the no's I can't count. And you will get lots and lots of no's. Even if you do the sales machine funnel or not, you will get lots and lots of no's. Don't give up. Keep moving forward. Keep pushing. That's the only way you will find success. Knowing that you will fail and be okay with that, that's how you move on. When people get devastated when they lose their first deal, or when they actually have an appointment and someone says no, and they're like, oh man, I spent all these hours calling, driving, and then nothing out of it. Okay, that's going to happen. Like, knowing going in that the vast majority of people are telling you no. The vast majority of people might be rude to you. Know that that's going to happen, and be okay with it. Because if you're not okay with it, then don't do this. Find a different business, find a different company, keep your 9-to-5 job. More power to you. Not everyone can be real estate investors. Not everyone can do this full time, and that's totally okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But just acknowledge, if you do want to do this, that you will be failed. There will be massive amounts of failure, be massive amounts of disheartening conversations and hardship. But work with it. Work hard, be strong, and keep going. So if you guys want to be a part of my Unstoppable Sales Machine on my phone funnel, you want to go driving for dollars, you want to start making phone calls, you want to learn about how to find deals for sell by owners. If you're good at just looking up deals on Craigslist, something along those lines, like that can also work. If you have a deal you need help taking down, contact me, and we can do it. If not, just go off and do your own Unstoppable Sales Machine. There's absolutely no problem with that at all. So guys, I love you a lot. I appreciate the time you spend with me. I'm glad that, let me know if this one-on-one, this no guest format is not something we're gonna do all the time. It's just something I want to try out. I wanted to get you guys' feedback. So if you stayed with me the entire, this whole 40 minutes, and you find that it was actually beneficial for you, and you actually liked me just kind of going off on tangents on how to build the Unstoppable Sales Machine, please comment below if you have questions. If you have ideas on how to improve it, by all means. If you guys go off and do your own Unstoppable Sales Machine and you find something that works, I'm expecting you guys to come and tell me what works better, right? If I'm going to give you this value, I want to get some back. You know what I mean? So another thing, guys, please make sure to like and share. It really, really means a difference to share and to like and to subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast. Let us know that what we're doing is good. It's helpful. We want to give back to the community. That's the biggest thing, right? And value comes back to us, right? That's just how karma works. So awesome. So please leave your comments below of questions you have, and also of if you want to join, if you want to actually join the Ultimate Sales Machine, let's do it. Let's work together. Let's kick some butt. All right, guys, I love you. And thanks for watching the podcast. Love you guys.
We hope you liked that podcast. Stay tuned for next Monday for a brand new podcast and a brand new guest. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.